Ego, the self that which feels, acts, or thinks, your emotions, your actions, your mindset. What does it mean to have an ego? To have a sense of self, the way you see yourself, the way you hear yourself, the way you feel about yourself, your identity. I can't say whether that's good or bad. I guess it depends on your perspective. Is the ego our protection, reflection, direction, or an expectation of what we deserve or what we're worthy of? Ego, sometimes it's the sense of entitlement to cover what we lack, or maybe because of how we see ourselves, we want to control all outcomes. In what ways is the ego formed? A copy and paste of insecurities placed one on top of another? Or is it in the womb of the mother where you were known before form? Siobhan, a name you may not know that lies between the first and the last. There's different aspects to my ego, and each part teaches me something about myself. My ego can create certain realities, and depending on how I react to them, my ego can either help me or hurt me. Let me introduce you to my ego. Some days it protects me. It helps me to keep my guard up and helps me to set boundaries. If I think too much, if I feel too much, my ego covers me like a shield. My ego stands up for others and will speak up because she knows what it's like to want to be protected and have security. Bold, courageous, and sometimes reckless. I don't give a fuck. A lot of times, that's my ego. If I'm low, my ego picks me up. It gives me a new perspective that helps to move with power and confidence. In this form, it doesn't seek to step on others, but instead pick them up to see the view. The ego becomes the strength to help get things done and push past difficulties. But she must be careful not to seek validation. Other times, my ego projects. In the places I'm wounded, my ego writes a story through unhealed eyes, taking pain, neglect, and hurt to project on others in new situations. The past is used as a sword and cuts down everything in its path. But with guidance, the projection shines a light on the darkness and reminds her of her healing. The ebb and flow of my ego. Sometimes it helps me to rise, and other times it's the reason I fall. The way I see myself changes the more I grow and work on myself. The relationship with my ego gets better the more I align myself. I can recognize when my ego is helping me and when it's in the way. Overall, I try not to be attached to my ego, but use it for direction and understanding. It really comes down to the reality my ego creates and the inner dialogue I have that comes from my higher self.